everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of CKCB Presents. Tonight we're covering the Tortured Teen Incorporated documentary that's out on Cinemax. And, just because, we've never actually done anything like that, like actually covered a document. Well, that's not true. Woodstock 99, that one.
Yeah.
And I don't have a guest with me, so on this particular episode, so Todd's filling in for the guest who would, I don't know. Anybody can be on.
Should be here.
Yeah, anybody can be on CKCB Presents. Yeah, kind of like the show was there for a while.
Yeah, sorry about that.
When you're fault. But
anyway,
you gotta do what you gotta do. Priorities.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I was never mad at you.
Oh, I know.
So, I said that.
Yeah, that's fine. We won't go into that.
Yeah, but what I will, I can't not mention this because when we were recording Jerry Brudos last night, and this episode will actually come out before the Jerry Brudos episode does, but we were recording that. The past 2 days have just been the craziest days in recent memory.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had Shelley Duvall died. We had Dr. Ruth die. We had Richard Simmons die. And then, as we were recording the Brudos episode, there was the assassination attempt on Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Today, yesterday wasn't finished. After that, Shannon, late last night, Shannon Doherty died.
How did Shannon Doherty die?
I don't know. I didn't even look into it. I'm just like, really?
Wow.
But then, former Baltimore Ravens great Jacody Jones, he died too at 40 years old.
Wow. How did he die?
I don't know. I mean, I have my theories, but I'm not going to say them.
All right.
But, it's just weird. I mean, that's like the fastest, like 6 people. Well, 5 people. Was it 5 or was it 6? Duvall,
5.
Dr. Ruth. Yeah, it was 5. So who's next on the second trilogy with Doherty and Jacody Jones?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
It's not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He handled that like a boss, though.
Yeah, he did.
I don't care whether you like him or hate him or whatever. You got to admit he handled that like a boss.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, we know it's not going to be Keith Richards.
Yeah, right? Oh, Jesus. That man will never die.
I don't know who it could be because these things always happen in threes. So
Yes, they do.
we had one trilogy complete itself and then another one 2/3 of the way through in like less than 48 hours.
Yeah. Apparently death doesn't take weekends off.
No. Or maybe it had been. It's just like, you know what? I want a vacation
make up for time.
I want a vacation during the week, so I'm just going to put in some hours on the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at anybody's deaths or whatever. It's just
not at all.
Insane how that happened. It's just like
right.
Like 5 like celebrities, and plus a assassination attempt on a former president. Like what the hell is going on here?
World's gone crazy, man.
So anyway, let's talk about troubled teen industry. I asked Nora if she wanted to come on for this, and she actually turned me down. I'm like, okay, that's odd. She's like, I'm involved in another documentary that'll be out sometime in October. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
So, but she is anxious to hear, our take on the documentary. And like I was saying before, we've never actually really covered a documentary. Like the Troubled Teen Industry episodes that we've done so far, there was the 2 that we did with Nora, and then there was the one where we had Nora back. It was a features episode, and Paul was on it with her, and that was his first exposure to really, I mean, he knew about TTI, but that was his first exposure to what it actually was. He was blown away. He's I mean, that's
that one
really good.
Yeah, I had to dip out of that one. Because, it just got to be too much. I was like, holy shit. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, her story, good God. And it's not, and it's not so much that it's her story isn't any different than any others. But the shit that happened to her after the fact, which was a direct result of being subjected to that, like, I mean, it's just, wow.
Yeah.
So, we're basically just covering the documentary. I mean, with giving our own commentary on it and everything. We're not recreating the documentary. We're just talking about it. So I'm not. So I've heard some podcasts out there that will literally retell the entire story. That's not what we're doing. I still want you to go watch the documentary. We're just talking about it. So, the Troubled Teen Industry. It's. I mean, everybody that listens to this show probably knows what it is. Anybody that saw the Program documentary that came out earlier this year knows what it is. It's basically cash cows set up to, run by sociopaths that like to abuse kids.
Yeah.
And it's in the guise of helping troubled kids. You've got these corporations that run these things, basically capitalizing on fear and desperate parents. And, it's like, okay, well, we can help your troubled teen out. But show me one teen that isn't troubled.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they've got all this shit going on in their lives and everything. They've got puberty. They've got, it's just... show me one teen that isn't troubled. I mean, they've got raging hormones going on. Their brain is trying to become more mature and everything. It's just like a constant war in their head with the with what's going on with the changes in their body. So of course they're going to lash out. Of course they're going to do it. But the Troubled Teen Industry capitalizes on this. They focus in. They're like, okay, well, we can help your kid. So we can fix them, and it's usually psychopaths that are in charge of these things. So.
Oh yeah, dude, that's terrible.
Yeah, so if you had told, and I'm sure I've said this on other episodes, but if you had told me 10 years ago that I would come to admire and respect Paris Hilton, I'd have told you that you're fucking insane.
Yeah, right.
But now I do respect her. I do admire her. And, because she has like really come out and just basically, I mean, she's not acting anymore. You know what she's putting all her time and effort into? Taking down the Troubled Teen Industry.
Yep. Dude, you know what's funny is when I started liking Paris Hilton myself personally, she was in this movie that I just truly love. And I was just like, that's Paris Hilton. That's hot girl. What the hell?
What movie?
Oh, it was a movie probably nobody's seen but me, but it's Repo, the genetic opera.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
She actually sings in it. She sings pretty good.
Screams?
Sings.
Oh. Well, because Scream Queen, that's a thing too.
Yeah, it is.
So a lot of people, a lot of horror movie buffs love their Scream Queens. So that's why.
There's a lot of people, a lot of actors in that movie that I didn't know could sing. that are singing in it, and it's really cool. Anyway,
Yeah, the only movie I can think of that's got Paris Hilton in it is what was it, House of Wax?
the House of Wax remake. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that too. I didn't care for that.
Nah. The logistics of that movie don't make sense. I mean, the smell in that place had to have been horrible.
Yeah,
unless you have senseless
unless you're senseless,
senseless officers.
right?
That's a little teaser for the Jerry Brudos episode.
Yeah.
But the
Anyway.
greatest Dick Darwin segment that's been done so far.
Yeah.
You know, Paris Hilton, you know, she experienced the trauma and all that stuff as well as, you know, everybody else did. I mean, there was no difference. I mean, when Paris Hilton was part of, you know, was in the Provo Canyon School, I mean, that's where she was. I mean, she hadn't become famous yet at that point, other than the fact that she was the heiress of the Hilton conglomerate. Yeah. But as Troubled Teen Industry expanded, it was, you know, at first it was teens, but now they're bringing in kids as young as 8 years old.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm. No, sorry. You know, I mean, you can kind of give these parents a little bit of a pass for teenagers if you guys are like butting heads seriously and everything. They don't. I mean, I'm not saying that sending them to the Troubled Teen Industry camps was the right thing to do, but what I am saying is, I get it. But if you're sending your 8-year-old off to one of these, you suck as a parent.
Yes, you've definitely failed as a parent.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I think it's a bad. It's seriously. I mean, I blame all this on the parents. To be honest with you, I mean.
Oh yeah, but still, the ones with teenagers and everything that they're like literally butting heads with and going back and forth with, it's just like, okay, you can kind of see it. They feel like they're at their wits' end, and then these camps, you know, these organizations, they prey on that.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm not giving them a pass. All I'm saying is I
You get it.
I get it. You know, I'm a single dad of a 14-year-old girl, and we go rounds from time to time. But
so Provo School in her future?
No, not at all.
I didn't think so.
Oh, there was one right here in Lakeland. I'm kidding.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But
anyway,
so Jen Robin, you know, she was at the same facility as that Paris Hilton had been, Provo Canyon, and she pretty much had the exact same experience that Paris Hilton did. I mean, all of these kids did. It doesn't matter which school they get sent to. It's all the same. It's all abuse. It's all torture. It's all run by sadists who are just making shitloads of money off of these people, off of these poor kids.
Yeah.
You know. But so this girl Jen Robinson, she was sent there at 14, and she was a normal kid. She was goofy, creative, but she fell apart when a close family member died of cancer at 9 years old, and she took it really hard. Her grades slipped. She was put on Prozac and ADHD medicines, and she attempted suicide at 13. But her parents were mental health doctors, and they sent her to Provo.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they kind of explained it a little bit, where they were like it's not recommended that mental health doctors, work with their own, family members.
Oh yeah.
But you can, but still, you've got to know, you've got to be able to do something to help your own kid if that's your fucking profession.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
you think you'd know better. I mean, if you can't help them, you'd know somebody better that could.
mm-hmm. Every one kid that comes out of the TTI saying that they actually helped them, there's 15 more who are abused and traumatized. Yeah, and that one kid is compartmentalizing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I don't see how anybody can go through this stuff and actually truthfully say that it helped them.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Or maybe they're on the payroll as propaganda or something like that. Which I don't put anything past these. I don't put anything past these people.
No. I mean, I'm sure there's some places that are actually legit and decent, but for the most part, nah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I've thought about it because I've gotten, I've been, I know we're going to get a bunch of first time listeners off of this episode, but for those of you who might be new, I'm a cult survivor, and and so I went through hell. My stories, episodes 10 and 11 on the podcast, and I'm an advocate. I've talked to a lot of cult survivors and everything. I haven't talked to any troubled teen industry other than Nora, but she was guest and everything. But still, it's just there's a very thin line between troubled teen industry and cult. Yeah, there's differences, but it's basically coercive abuse on both sides. So this girl Jen, she was on her first day there. It was like as soon as she walked in the building, she was put in the closet and told to get naked. She was strip searched, and it was no talking without permission and punishment. Basically, if you were punished for something, you basically meant you were getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
One morning, Jen refused to get up, and she was dragged from bed, like literally dropped on the floor from the top bunk height. And then she was dragged to an isolation closet. And then that's when the reality of her situation began to set in. She began to self-harm. And, they drugged her. They're like, okay, let's just make her docile. And there's like lots of side effects and everything. It's just like there were side effects of this medication, and nobody in these things are licensed medical professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just people. Kids would try to run away. Most get caught. But Jan, at 16 years old, after she had been there for 2 fucking years, she came up with an escape plan. She had an off-campus visit with her parents, and she knew her parents wouldn't believe her if she told her, if she told them what was going on.
Yeah.
But they went to the mall and everything, and they went into Spencer's. Remember Spencer's? It was the precursor to Hot Topic.
Yeah. Spencer's, the less goth Hot Topic.
Yeah. But she booked, and she just hauled ass, and she ran into the street. She flagged down a car. She said that she was trying to get into Salt Lake City. Like, if she got to Salt Lake City, she could just kind of blend in, disappear. They wouldn't be able to find her.
Yeah.
Or so she thought. But the man who picked her up took her under a bridge and raped her. And then let her go. And then somehow, and it doesn't explain how, but somehow, the Provo Canyon, they found her, and she was sent, put basically
they took her
back
back
into isolation. Yeah. I don't know how they found her.
I don't either. She had like a tracking device on her or something.
Yeah, right? But she told him what happened. But nobody was going to report this assault. The therapist asked her if she fought, and she hadn't. So the therapist then said, basically, and when I say therapist, I mean air quotes therapist.
Yeah. Some dude they hired off the street with no background check or nothing.
Right. But basically, it was put in her file that she had turned a trick for a ride. So now Jen's a prostitute. as far as Provo was concerned.
Well,
it was just a TTI spin, and they told this to her parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they believed it.
Yeah, they did.
That's the worst part of that to me. That's the worst part. Her parents believed that bullshit. But anyway.
But that's part of their whole. That's part of their whole thing, because they're not okay. The kid is the victim here. Okay,
absolutely.
But the parents are victims too, because they're feeding them all this bullshit. They're filling their heads with things like, okay, your kid's going to tell you that horrible things are going on. That's just them being manipulative.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So the kids in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yep.
But her parents, she did try to tell her parents, and they left her there. They basically, the therapist actually abandoned her too. She never saw the therapist again after that. Well, that might have been that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, probably.
But it was just, it's just bad.
Yeah.
She was broken, so she did what a lot of these kids do. She figured out that if she follows pretends to follow the program, she would eventually get out of it.
Yeah.
And she then went home after 3 years. So that would make her 17 years old. So she's basically missed out on the fun part of being a teenager.
Yeah.
From 14 to 17, that's the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
When you
was brutalized during
brutalized, yeah, raped. So, but the thing is, the longer that a kid is there, the more money these places make, because these things ain't cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Just it's between $30,000 and $60,000 a year. And they always find reasons to keep them there longer.
Yeah, that's the thing. It ain't worth that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Who? I don't even understand why somebody would do that. Why would you pay that much to not be a parent?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It don't make sense. So they fail these kids on purpose. Just to keep them there. They're cash cows. That's all they are.
Oh yeah.
Troubled teen industry. Most of them these days are owned by large corporations. There's low or no regulations, and they don't go into, they don't put the money that they get into, the safe upkeep. So a lot of these kids, they'll be sleeping on mattresses on dirty floors and stuff like that, and everything. So less money spent, that's a much higher yield to them.
Yeah. Can't be dipping into the profit margins by hiring a janitor.
Right. Yeah. Make the kids do it.
Yep, free labor.
Back in the 90s, the troubled teens were the subjects of many daytime TV talk shows like Jerry Springer, Maury Povich, Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. He was the worst.
Yeah.
Is he even really a doctor?
I think he was at some point, but I think that his license has expired and hasn't renewed it.
That's why he did a TV show?
I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
I would love to see what would give me a hell of a lot of respect for Oprah, because she's the one that basically put him on the map.
Yeah.
If she would come out and denounce him, but she's not going to do that.
Oh hell no. She's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you know what? But what we're getting ready to talk about here, those whole '90s things, dude. I thought that was all just bullshit made up for TV. I really did.
Well, we're going to kind of get into that too, but yeah, you thought that. I can remember watching some of those and being like, and just basically buying into it, thinking it's like, okay, look at these fuckers. Look at these fucking idiot kids or whatever. And at the time, I wasn't much older than they were. And but basically, Dr. Phil specifically, it's just basically humiliating teens on TV equals ratings.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I bought into it. And me of all people, I should have been able to see through that like you did, but I didn't.
I mean, I thought it was all just made up shit for TV. Like, seriously.
Well, it kind of was.
But
it kind of was.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean, though. We'll get there.
No, it kind of was, which we're about to get there like right now. But still, Dr. Phil, I hope you're listening. I know you're not, but I hope you are. But you, sir, are a piece of shit.
Yep.
And anyway, Danielle Bregoli, Bad Barbie. She's the Cash Me Outside, how about that girl?
Yeah.
She didn't even know that she was going on a TV show, let alone Dr. Phil. She was 13 years old at the time. And the show wasn't... The episode that they brought her on, go watch the entire episode. I'm sure you can find it. But it wasn't therapy, it was humiliation. And the audience just ate it up. They're sitting there, the audience is sitting there booing her and all that stuff. Right. But she was encouraged to act out on camera before she hit the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then so she did what she was asked, and she did it very well. She's another one. I mean, I don't I don't hold her in the same regard as like Paris Hilton, but she's up there because has also like come out, against it, using the platform that she has to speak out against it, and she's pretty popular with a lot of people. I'm not a fan of rap, but but a lot of people are, and we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
She was taken directly from the Dr. Phil show to a TTI camp, and her abduction, and I do mean it when I say this, abduction, was all caught on camera, and played on that episode of the Dr. Phil show. It was added to it. And She was taken to Turnabout Ranch in Utah.
Why is all this shit in Utah?
Because there's zero regulation.
That makes sense.
A lot of these camps, a lot of these troubled, these teen help camps or whatever, they have, they all have their own little niche. The ones out in Utah, lots of them are like wilderness type things, because that's pretty much all Utah is. It's a beautiful state, though. I've been there. I threw that in there just for you.
Yeah. Where haven't you been?
Maine and Rhode Island.
You been to Alaska?
No.
Okay. But in the lower 48, you've only not been to 2 states?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I've been to Maine.
Well, aren't you Mr. Fancy Pants?
I know, right?
You could have been to a place that I haven't been.
See,
one time I could have gone to Rhode Island, but if I had, it would have taken me like an extra hour and a half on my trip. So I just said, fuck it.
Right
but
on.
from what I've heard about Rhode Island, it's probably a good thing that I didn't go there in a semi.
Yeah, right. Could you even fit a semi in Rhode Island?
I was just going to say my truck is probably almost as big as the entire state. Something occurred to me last week. These semi tractor trailers. You're basically driving a 5-story building around.
Wow. Yeah.
The trailer itself is 53 feet long.
Yeah.
And then, so that's a small 5-story building. But if you add in like other stuff and everything, you add the tractor onto it. Yeah, you're looking at a 5-story building, literally.
Easy, yeah. Wow, I never thought of it that way. That's
I hadn't either, but I was just like, I was just driving down the road one day, because you have a lot of time to think,
right,
when you're doing that, and it's just like, I'm driving a 5-story building around.
Yeah, wow.
So, but the turnabout camp was basically forced free labor on a farm. Food, sleep deprivation, food. I was doing so good too.
That's one.
Food, sleep deprivation. God damn it.
Deprivation. That's the word
That's
you're
the
looking
word.
for.
Yeah, and beatings. Survive this, and you'll be remolded and fixed. And what was the treatment? Abuse. Danielle thought that she would die there. I mean, the girl's freaking tiny. She probably weighs 98 pounds soaking wet.
If that.
Wearing a trench coat. Soaking wet, wearing a trench coat. But,
yeah.
But, no, I mean, she's a tiny girl. So, of course, she thought that she was going to... I mean, it's just... even me at 50 years old, I can probably take a lot more than what she can take as far as, like, physical toil and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
And that's with the chronic pain that I'm in.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, it does. But while she was there, another kid tried to escape. And during this incident, this kid killed one of the staff, injured another one, and stole a car to get away.
Wow.
There was a police chase. And the rest of the kids weren't even allowed to talk about what had happened. And all the news reported was the kid killing the staff member. And he had tried to kill himself previously. And he had tried to tell about the abuse. The news left that part out. They focused on the bad kid. Basically, troubled teen industry camp turnaround.
Yeah.
Camp. They were the heroes, and
of course they were.
Yeah, the camp was not shut down as a result.
That's terrible.
It gets even worse.
I'm sure.
Because parents who put these kids in there, like let's say you've got a teenager that's suicidal. They are flat out, like in their preliminary interviews and stuff like that, they are flat out told not to say that the kid is suicidal.
Okay.
Because if a kid says that they're suicidal, then there's special things that you have to do. That requires a licensed professional, which these pukes are not.
Are not, definitely not.
So they're just like, if a parent says, "Oh, my kid's suicidal," no, don't say that.
Don't say that. You can't say that.
Yeah. So
at least don't put it on paper.
Right.
Jesus.
This kid got 5 years to life for murder.
Yeah.
And during that time, Danielle herself was put on suicide watch, and she broke down. She lost it after this incident because she knew that kid. Well, she probably wasn't allowed to talk to him. She just knew who he was.
Right.
But and she after she was released, she went back to the Dr. Phil show, and she's like, God, I wish she had just unleashed and just told everything that went on while she was there, but they would have like rushed her off stage, and that episode would have never seen the light of day.
Yeah, exactly.
But what she did do, and props to her because she figured something out, she said there's better ways to get kids help. But then right there on stage, her mom told her that she should say thank you to Dr. Phil.
What? Her mom told. Fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dr. Phil was the one who basically heavily endorsed Turnabout Ranch. Phil had,
Do you think he knows what goes on there, or do you think he just thinks it's a good thing?
No, he knows. But he's making money off of it, which we're going to get to.
But you know what I mean.
He doesn't care. He just cares about being famous and being rich. And once again, Dr. Phil, I hope you're fucking listening, you asshole.
Yeah, hey, can Dr. Phil be number 3 in this round?
Yeah. Dr. Phil, you're more than welcome to come on and talk to us. We'll be nice.
No, we won't. You're going to have to mute me if that happens.
Damn. But Phil had parental consent forms on all kids that come onto the show. He recommended Turnabout to lots of parents, and he got kickback for every kid that he sent to Turnabout.
Oh, yeah.
And Phil washes his hands. He's like, I've got no responsibility for the kids once they leave the stage. Damn. That was a pretty good Dr. Phil.
That was a pretty good Dr. Phil. That was pretty good Dr. Phil for sure.
I didn't even rehearse it. I had it written there, and I just just spur of the moment. I'm like, hey, let's try it. Yeah, that was a good one.
Let's try it, Dr. All right. Hell yeah.
Fuck Dr. Phil.
Yep.
Danielle, though, got the last laugh, kind of. She's rich. She's got a rep career. She's got a movie. She was on 47 Meters Down, that really bad shark movie.
I never watched it because it looked stupid.
It was stupid. I saw it in the theater one time when I was sitting overnight at a Best Buy store. And there happened to be a theater in the shopping center. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go watch this. That was the only movie that they had playing that piqued my interest even remotely. So
what was the other shark movie that was stupid too?
There was one that they recently came out. It was called Under Paris, and it was advertised as like the scariest shark movie since Jaws. That movie was fucking horrible. I mean, it sucked. It didn't even make sense. It's just like, I'm stupider for having watched that movie.
There was one that had it's like a girl, she was surfing, and then she got like the shark. There was like a dead whale carcass, and the shark was eating it, and then the shark saw her, and she had to like stay up on this rock and then try to swim to shore.
I don't know.
I remember I watched it, and it was just like, this is just stupid because sharks don't act like that.
No, I've seen so many bad shark movies. I'm a sucker for them.
Yeah, nothing could top Sharknado.
No.
All 6 of them, or however many there are.
Under Paris came, it tried. And, I mean, at least the redeeming quality of Sharknado was the fact that it was supposed to be stupid.
Supposed to be stupid, yeah.
But this Under Paris movie, they were trying to be serious, and it was just horrible. It was so bad.
Heard. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I haven't even watched anything about it, like on YouTube or anything, like I normally would. But I've heard about it.
Yeah, and the ending, it's just like, how does this even make sense? It doesn't. There's nothing. Right. It's just. Anyway,
it's just the way
yeah. It's just, but if I hadn't seen the thing about it's the greatest shark movie since Jaws, if they hadn't gone at it like that, I would have watched it. I would have been like, okay, this is so good it's bad,
right?
Or this is so bad it's good, you know. But no, they had to say it's the best shark movie since Jaws. It might have been the best shark movie since Jaws 4.
Oh God, yeah, that one was terrible.
Yeah, but
that was even worse than Jaws 3.
I know.
Like, dude, they're at SeaWorld. SeaWorld's in Orlando, which is in the middle of the state. There's no fucking gate to the ocean.
No.
unless there's a fucking 70-mile long fucking canal running through Florida that nobody knows about.
And then there, not to mention that one scene where the shark is approaching.
Oh, yeah, when it's just a picture of a shark
It's
moving.
just a picture.
They just took a picture of the fucking shark.
Now, I'm not a fan
zoomed in on
of I'm not a fan of remakes, but if you remade Jaws 3 with like serious producers and stuff like that,
And not make it 3D.
and good CGI and all that stuff, and put it in a different spot, like maybe San Diego or something.
Yeah, where there is an ocean.
Yeah, you might have something by remaking Jaws 3.
Yeah, you might.
But
Just don't make it at SeaWorld, man. God, that was just the dumbest fucking thing.
well, there's SeaWorld in San Diego. I mean, it's
Well,
not
yeah.
on the ocean, but still.
That's probably closer to the ocean than SeaWorld Orlando is.
Yeah.
I don't know how somebody went, okay, people believe that.
Yeah. Everybody in Florida is just like, huh? Everybody in Florida, everybody that's ever been to Florida is just like, huh?
Yeah. And the whole underwater little world that they had, it's like, I know what they were trying to do, but it's just... The shark encounter thing where you ride the escalator through the glass tube and then they made a whole other thing out of it. Like, dude, there's none of that shit there.
No. And still, the shark encounter, I mean, that was the first of its kind like that. That was the first thing of its kind. But now, it's just, it's still the same, but other places have done so much better.
Yeah. Anyway, we're digressing.
Anyway, hashtag, but I digress.
Yeah. Let's move on.
But still, 47 meters down was better than Jaws 3.
Dude, any shark movie is better than Jaws 3.
But she has a child too, Danielle. She has a child too, but she had the last laugh, but it came at a cost and everything. She's had a drug problem. She had a successful rehab. She's clean now, apparently, but she did go through hell, and she's been with boyfriends and everything that beat her. So,
dude, she looked rough in that when they showed her again.
Yeah,
like when she was talking, she looked rough.
Yeah, she really did. I mean, felt sorry for her.
Yeah,
but she seems to have turned it around. So, more power to her.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm. So Jen, she began researching troubled teen industry, and she discovered Synanon, which that is going to be a future episode for CKCB.
Okay.
It's the troubled teen industry origin. So we're not going to really go too much into it on this one because we're going to cover it in later. But basically, in a nutshell, it was abuse therapy for drug addicts, but it turned into a cult, and it was the origin of troubled teen industry specifically for the failure for profit model, complete with tactics from Nazi and North Korean prison camps. Behavior modification.
Oh, well, yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Jesus.
Jen began seeing similar characteristics, including name changes. Jen has a Jewish background, so Provo Canyon began calling her Auschwitz.
Really?
Yeah. I think that probably made me see red more than anything else in this entire fucking series. Just that her file had the name Auschwitz.
Okay, yeah. I got nothing for that.
Yeah, it's just what makes me wonder what they call black people.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to speculate.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, I don't want to get
Goddamn.
canceled. Even you know, I don't know. I don't know. It just pissed me off. It's just like when they said that was the first thought I had. It was like, gee, what are they calling black people?
Right?
You know, and it's just if they're going to call a Jew, somebody with Jewish heritage Auschwitz, I don't want to know what they would call a black person.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit, right? That's terrible. Let's move on.
Yeah. One of the featured speakers on the doc was sent to a TTI program called The Seed, which was founded by Art Barker in 1978. This was in Florida. And that
Really? Come on, man. Florida's got a bad rap as it is, dude. We got to have this shit now.
Well, but it's on my board. It's been added to the list. We're going to cover that one.
Yeah.
But that was the end of part one. So let's continue. And the way these things do is just like the second part picks up right after the third part, or after the first part, and then the third part picks up right after the second part. It's just one story, just chopped into three pieces, like we probably should have done with the Jerry Brutus episode. But
that'd have been too short then, man.
Yeah, it would have.
It would have been three like fucking 45-minute episodes, just like this show is.
Well, I haven't finished this one. I haven't finished it. I've barely gotten started editing Jerry Brutus. We recorded that episode for 3.5 hours, and there's a possibility that could be our longest episode to, one-part episode to date.
So yeah.
And if it's not, it'll be close. It was fun, though. We had a blast recording it.
Yes, we did.
That was one of the craziest stories that we've ever covered on this show.
We only recorded for 3.5 hours. See, why it felt like so much longer than that.
Well, that was because I had to stop and go somewhere.
I mean, but we know that. But I mean, just like maybe that's why, because there was we had a break.
There's two parts. One part was an hour long. The other part was 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So anyway, hashtag, but I digress.
Again, here we go.
Yeah, but that's a promo for the episode that's going to follow this one.
Yes,
so
shameless self-promotion. I got it.
Yep. So, this man, it's on the documentary. His name's Evan, and he was sent to the Seed at 13 years old, and he was kicked out of school in Cleveland for selling fake joints.
Okay.
Rolled up cigarettes. I don't know.
What was he like? Was he rolling like oregano or?
It might have even been just tobacco. Who knows? But
yeah.
What happens if you smoke oregano?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. I don't want to.
Yeah, I have no desire to know.
You'd be coughing out like a minty flavor for like a week.
You walk around like tasting pizza everywhere.
Yeah.
Or spaghetti sauce.
He was acting out. He was doing anything that he could to piss off adults, and it was crazy. And but something had went wrong, which we're about to find out. He and his mom were cool, and everything, up until. Some friends came over one night for dinner, and then later that night, the son of this family, who was a friend of Evan, tortured and killed his own parents that same night after coming to dinner with them.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
His Evan's mom lost her mind because of that, and honestly, Evan did too. he was sent to seed because of it, because for one thing his mom couldn't cope, and for honestly he couldn't either. That's why he was acting out. But seed was backed by the government. President Richard Nixon even endorsed and funded the seed.
Well, of course he did.
His mom signed paperwork allowing Evan to be a test subject. And,
Jesus.
Yeah. The seed. There was a song. It was just like, and I can't remember the melody of it. I can't remember the melody of it, but it was something that was familiar to me. I couldn't put my finger on it. It was just like, the seed is all you need to stay off the junk and pills and weed.
Okay.
Yeah, what lyrical genius came up with that? But when he got there, he was given the seed welcome by everybody that was there. We love you, Evan. There's actually a video of this.
Okay.
I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh, I believe you.
He was not allowed to say one word to anybody for the first 3 days. There's no privacy. People held him when he had to take a piss, and watched him when he took a shit. I'd have been screwed. I can't take a shit in a public bathroom. I can't. I have to do it at home, or at I can do it at a truck stop where there's a door that locks and everything, and I'm in my own freaking private room.
Right.
I can't do it in a public bathroom. I'd have been fucked.
Yeah.
I would have.
You would have learned how to do it. I guarantee it.
I would have exploded after about a week and a half of not taking a shit.
Well, yeah. Once that pain builds up, man, you go, fuck it. Who cares? It ain't worth it.
But the seed even had their own way to hold a toothbrush.
Of course they did.
Art Baker said that the program works because of the sheer peer pressure that are put on these kids. It's like, this is back in the frickin' 60s, and he's just sitting there admitting it. The early 70s.
Yeah.
Like I said, the cult episode, The Move, they had their own TTI camps.
Yes, they did.
And there's nothing different. There's nothing different than what they did, even though it hadn't become a big thing yet. But I mean, this is probably happening around the same time that the Move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do more research on The Move and find out if Sam Fife had any connections to TTI. Because I'd be willing to bet that he did.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah. That was Cult we covered. Actually, when this is released, it's the previous episode.
Yeah.
Sam Fife and the Movement of God Cult.
Yes.
So,
my first episode back, and it was a cult.
So they had rap sessions. Rap sessions was where the new guy stands up and he's attacked by everybody belittling him, and they're sitting there forced to just sit there and take it. If they retaliated anyway, there would be hell to pay. The goal was to make them admit that they had a problem. But once they finally, so right out the gate, they're breaking you.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't going to stop unless you submit. So, but once that happens, then there's love bombing. We love you, Evan.
Yeah, I could tell.
He kept a journal. 23 days into his stay there, Evan was belittling himself in this journal. Yeah, and they had basically erased his identity, and he was along with it.
Damn.
Several times a day, everyone was made to sing "America the Beautiful" and pledged to die in the final battle for the soul of America. This TTI, this pre-TTI place had turned into a doomsday cult.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. Misbehave, you're beaten to a pulp. They actually force kids to fight each other in bare knuckle boxing.
Okay.
Evan realized that in order to get out of it, he had to pretend to comply. He started, and the cult believed it. We hear this story so much.
Yep.
All these kids figured out. I just got to pretend.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't broken me, but you know what?
Yeah, give them what they want, and they'll let you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know.
But lots of kids committed suicide after being released from the seat, and others had mental breakdowns, including Evan. The U.S. Senate did an investigation, and they actually compared the seed's methods to North Korean brainwashing, recommending that funding be cut off. Nothing happened.
Of course not.
But the Senate actually did something. It was the higher ups that, you know, like the president, that basically vetoed it.
Well, yeah.
Tricky Dick. Evan hated himself. He told people that he had been in a cult and he had been brainwashed. So when he grew up, he decided to become a journalist.
Okay.
He began digging in on the seed, and he realized that everybody breaks, but the seed eventually was shut down. Fun stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Rich Republican Melvin Sembler started a new program. Same staff as the seed after the seed had gotten shut down. Different name. It was called Straight Incorporated, and seed started up again doing the same things, but instead of being government funded, this was privately funded. It was a private corporation, and they started franchising. Franchising.
All right.
In cult speak, it would be satellite locations.
Satellite, yes.
Nancy Reagan endorsed this.
Of course she did.
Yeah. She brought Princess Diana there, too. And I remember Nora talking about this. Yeah, about how Nancy Reagan and Princess Diana were involved.
Yeah.
But
actually, I remember that, too, now that you mention it.
Yeah, but this started the war on drugs.
Is this where the whole just say no shit came from?
Yeah. All of those propaganda commercials in the 80s, they were straight sponsored. That helpline number that was on those commercials was a direct phone line to Straight.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Wow. Holy shit.
But it's like, goddamn. This is how...
Yeah. Fuck.
It just shows you that even at the highest level in the United States, they don't do their fucking research.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... not going to go there. But the Bushes continued the program. More George H.W. Bush. More programs sprung up. people were panicking about their kids doing drugs, and it was exactly the same as the satanic panic, which was going strong at that point.
Right.
Lots of copycat troubled teen camps started popping up, and one copycat was the Bethel Boys Academy in Lucedale, Mississippi.
Was it a school for white boys?
I love you, bro. I was hoping you would say that.
Well, you know, I had to.
It was a school for anybody whose parents had money.
Anybody had money, right?
Yep. Dave Boucher, he was smoking weed, and he was sent to Bethel rather than juvie, who was basically given a plea deal. Like,
Right.
do I go to juvie or you want to go to this camp? And I'm sure that it's a good outdoor retreat and everything, and
Yeah.
all the bullshit. But he's just like, no. He ran. He's just like, I'm not going there. He took off. But one night, he was abducted out of his home and taken to this camp, Bethel, and there were police there, but it was actually an actual bounty hunter that took him in.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it Dog? Did he Bear Mason?
I don't think Dog the Bounty Hunter would have done this.
Yeah, probably not.
I think he would have told him to fuck off.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
the bounty hunter, when he dropped him off there, he told Dave, he's like, do what they say and you'll survive.
There it is again.
Yep. But this thing had gang members. Like the kids that were there, from everything from gang members down to just kids that had bad grades.
Yeah.
And apparently rich parents.
Yeah, right. You have to have rich parents for that shit.
Yeah, but Alan Knoll, he was a product of a broken home, and he was dealing with it. But he had been molested at 9 years old by a family friend, and he acted it out. He threatened self-harm, and he was sent to Bethel. And he was, like, subjected to, like, push-ups and beating, like, constantly.
Oh, man.
He was awarded a phone call to call his parents and everything, and he tried to tell them what was going on, and they didn't believe him, and he was savagely punished for it.
Ugh.
Yeah, this was run by a religious zealot, sadomasochist, and he's just like, spare the rod, spoil the child, and that was what was used to justify all the abuse. And his name was Herman Fountain, and he believed that he was called by God to help kids.
Okay.
If you were called by God to do that, I don't want to know that God.
Exactly.
That wasn't the God. That wasn't the God that I know.
Dude, I don't think that's the God that anybody knows.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, oh, God, I can't even. I just can't.
Yeah. Lester Roloff, another one. He started off religious-based camps, and his thing is just like, we're going to get the kids off the dope. Dope was a term used in the 70s for about 2 years.
Right.
For drugs. And this was in the 80s.
This is the
80s. It's like, hello, the 70s called. They want their drug reference back.
Yeah, right. God damn, man.
But this particular cult, according to the documentary, it's just like girls were treated worse.
Mm-hmm.
They were treated worse. Girls were handcuffed and beaten and everything. And then when the state tried to investigate, they were denied access, and they weren't shut down.
And they weren't shut down?
No.
Of course not, because why would you do that? Jesus.
Herman brought in a man named William Knott, and he was a Marine, a boxer, weightlifter. He was a badass.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a psycho, too.
Of course he was a psycho.
He was put in charge of the kids. You know, push-ups. If you're not doing them fast enough, he'd punch you in the face. This piece of shit actually had a pit bull trained to attack on command.
Oh, killer, sick balls.
You know, you're 100% right on that. Because
or whatever it was, chopper sick balls. That's what it was.
But I didn't put this in the notes. But in the documentary, it said that he was trained to go after the dog was trained to go after the groin.
Yep.
You nailed that one. But another thing that he liked to do was waterboard, and he also had this other thing. It's like when waterboarding wasn't working, he would drown and resuscitate.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. He left Bethel to start his own program, the Restoration Youth Academy in Alabama. There he was in charge. He was able to do whatever the hell he wanted. And it was obviously much worse than what was going on at Bethel because he was basically left to his own devices.
Right.
Piece of shit.
God damn, dude. That's terrible. Fuck my life.
Mm-hmm. But he was arrested and indicted on 24 charges of aggravated child abuse, and he was sent to prison. As far as I know, he's still there.
Oh, well, let's hope so. Fuck.
Yeah. If not, then he might be coming after us.
Well,
and I, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Boom. But Bethel got raided. Yeah, and Hamilton was, or what was his name? Herman Fountain. He was he was arrested and he was sent to prison for 2 years. But the whole time Bethel continued to operate, and when Herman got out, he went right back to work.
Right back to work.
Yeah.
Of course, because why not?
Yeah. Allen was violently beaten, and one time he snuck into an office and called 911 after he was viciously beaten. Cops came, but they sided with Herman despite severe bruises all over him. Yeah, and the police had to have been getting a kickback. Had to have been.
Yeah.
That's just my theory. At one point, he's just like, you know what? Fucking kill me. Put me out of my fucking misery. Fucking kill me.
There you go.
But they kicked him out and they sent him to another place in Missouri called the Agape Boarding School.
Agape.
This was in Missouri, and he faked it for 2 years and wound up getting out.
All right.
But Bethel was major income in Lucedale, Mississippi. Yeah, it was like to the point, and all of these things. There's so much money that they're bringing into the community. So Nora talked a lot about that, about places in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
But but here, this is something that I haven't heard. Kids would run away and locals would grab them and return them.
Oh, shit.
Mississippi. If you remember from our Sam Fife episode, the cult, one of their TTI camps was in Mississippi.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, really? Just a normal person. Like, oh, you're a runner.
Yeah.
And just snag him and fucking, oh, dude, that's terrible.
You know what? That's kidnapping.
Yeah.
Everybody that did that should be brought up on charges.
They should. Because, yeah,
that's kidnapping.
That's not your job. You're not, fuck
yeah.
me, dude. I have lost all faith in humanity. Again.
No, but doing this is, just, we're not, the people that are going to watch the documentary, they're going to watch it.
Yeah.
The people that are going to tune into this are two types of people. They're either people who aren't going to bother with the documentary anyway.
Right.
Or they're people who are going to watch the documentary or have watched the documentary but want to hear our take on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
we're not taking anything away from the documentary.
No.
But the documentary was really good because this one, the other two documentaries, there was the program and then there was another one that I watched. I can't remember the name of it, but those were like specific to one particular institution. This is covering a bunch.
Yeah.
And you know what? I kind of like this one. Well, I don't really like it, but yeah. I mean, no, I hate it.
I mean, as far as documentaries go,
it's really good. The program was really good as well. But it's getting the word out there.
Yeah, and that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because there's people like me that had no idea this was going on.
Right.
Like the stuff we talked about earlier, I didn't realize that it was a thing. I thought that was just shit they made up for TV. I mean, and some of it was, I get that, but I didn't realize that there was this whole
Dr. Phil's a pipeline.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil is a pipeline to funnel money into these things, and he gets kickback for it.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
I mean, I had no idea that this was a thing, but
and he plays it off like, oh, I just care. It's just he is a very good actor.
Yeah, yes, he is.
If you don't know, because like I said, I even bought into it back in the 90s. Yeah. I even did. But I hadn't made the connection that I had been raised in a cult yet.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it's just anyway. I'm happy. I'm happy to join this fight against the troubled teen industry,
right,
and be their ally. I didn't go through that, but I went through something very similar.
And me, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, nothing really bad has happened to me, to be honest.
This is for the new listeners. Back when we did episodes 10 and 11, like over 2 years ago, Todd had no fucking clue that I had even gone through that.
No, he never told me.
No, it just never came up. And
yeah,
I told other people and everything, but it's just like whatever.
Yeah, we had lots of other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I know. We tried to start a podcast about that stuff, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I think we just approached it wrong. I think it could work, but we'll talk about that another time. It could work, but I don't have the time for it. Yeah.
You have no idea how much time I put into this podcast.
Oh, no, I do know. Or at least I have an inkling.
New listeners, Todd was away for 6 months, and he's just recently come back.
Yes. I needed a break.
I need a break like that from my job. But
it's not all it's cracked up to be, let me tell you.
Anyway, kids were turned against each other at Bethel, and some kids singled out. Some kids were singled out. Specifically and took a lot more abuse than everybody else.
Oh yeah.
There was this one guy, Bradley, and he was there for gay conversion therapy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It didn't actually say this, but I think that the kid was beaten to death. He was like constantly beaten and everything, and at one time, this is run by a religious person, a quote unquote religious person.
Yeah.
But at one point he was like forced to grab electric fences to shock the gay out of him.
Because that'll work.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That is.
You can't.
But it's the freaking norm in these things, and it's still going on now. That's why we're doing this episode.
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah, this one's getting to me. Anyway, moving on.
Esther Fountain. She was the daughter of Herman Fountain, and she spoke out after years. After being silent for years and everything. As a kid, she actually participated in the abuse. She was encouraged because she was Herman's daughter and everything. She didn't know any better. And she would actually, just the kids that were there had to do whatever she said.
Yeah.
She didn't know any better. She regrets it now.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah. But boys were starting to because they lived on site. And boys would start, like, breaking out of their rooms and everything and peeping in on her and her sister.
Oh, boy.
One night she was raped. One night somebody broke in and she was raped. What do you think Herman did?
Probably blamed her for it.
Mm-mm.
No?
He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything.
He's making too much money. He can still make money on this kid.
Oh, yeah, good point.
This kid was never charged. The kid did break in with he had a mask on. So it's possible that she didn't know exactly who it was. But
did he come back later saying, "Hey, have you seen anything?"
Another Jerry Bruno's.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm spoiling the episode. I keep forgetting that this is coming out first. Anyway,
Alan met up with an Agape student / staff member. His name was James. And they hashed it out because this guy was, like in our episode about Sam Fife. Remember I was talking about the snitches,
mm-hmm.
the pets. That's what he was.
Okay.
They didn't like each other back then, but they actually sat down and had a respectful conversation. And this guy James has since joined the fight against TTI.
All right.
So. But it just, James actually described how kids were subdued and restrained for hours. And it was just like they would physically hold kids down. And after like a couple hours, somebody else would come in and take over, hold them down and everything. But, he had actually completed his stay at Agape. And they wanted him to stay on as a member, as a member of the staff and pay him.
Okay.
If you had suicidal thoughts, you need Jesus.
Yeah.
Agape even had police officers on the
payroll.
Yeah, pretty much. It didn't say that, but
the cops are going to hate us.
one former student, one former TTI victim became a cop, and then he wound up becoming like a what is it, resource officer?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
He believes in the program. He's blind as a bat. He's complicit, and it the money.
Yeah,
It's the money.
it's terrible.
Charles Kennedy, he was a retired police captain. He looked into that freaking badass ex-Marine with the pit bull. Charges were brought to Bethel, and Bethel actually got closed down. And they were awarded to pay $900,000 to various victims.
All right.
But that's what made him go after Knott, because remember, Knott went to Alabama, and Kennedy's, he had opened up his TTI thing in Kennedy's town. He got TTI, he pounced on the cause and everything, and basically TTI was basically ran out of Alabama thanks to Kennedy, and TTI doesn't exist in Alabama.
Good.
Yeah, but he continues. But he's continued the fight elsewhere and everything. And this guy, applause.
Hell yeah, brother. Cheers.
And I'll add the applause into it. Next, the dot goes to Lakeland, Florida, which is where I live. Lakeland Girls Academy, a branch of Teen Challenge. This particular branch is now closed, but if it was still open, I'd go after them after finding this shit out.
Right.
It closed in 2022. Before we get into this, I got to talk about Teen Challenge.
Okay.
Because there is a Teen Challenge camp in Merritt Island where you live.
Oh.
It's
Is
off
it really?
of Hall Road. It's off of Hall Road, north of the barge.
Oh, it was.
Barge Canal. Oh, it got shut down?
No, never mind. Now that I know there's one close to me, it might be shut down. I didn't say that.
There's a book that I haven't read it yet, but where it's called I Shouldn't Be Alive. And it's about this woman who was just basically went through fucking hell, and she was at that facility in Merritt Island.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's there. But
I know.
and I kind of told this. I told this story in the other features episode that I did with Nora and with Paul. But when I was like 16 years old, I went to I was in church because it's just like as soon as I moved in with my dad, I got involved with the Christian rock crew. I'm not going to name any names, but you know who I'm talking about.
Well, I do.
Well, yeah, you do. It's like the ringleader of that. We've both been in bands with him as a lead singer.
Yes.
But I was going to the Word of Life Church over there in South Merritt Island, off of Courtney Parkway. You know where I'm talking about. But
I think so.
One night, like I said, I hadn't made the connection yet that I was in a cult. But one night we were there for the special event and everything, and it was they had people from Team Challenge there, and they were putting it up to be like oh, this it's great for people that had like teens that have problems and everything. It was a youth group event basically, and they're up there, they're talking, they parade these kids up on stage and everything, and they're basically reciting propaganda about how great Teen Challenge is and all that stuff, and it got fucking weird.
Okay.
Because they started singing this fucking song. Remember how there was that song about the seed that I was talking about? It was like that. It was like, thank you, we love Teen Challenge. I don't remember exactly how it was.
Right.
But even though I hadn't made the connection yet that I had been raised in a cult, I had to have been the only kid there that was thinking about this. It's just like, there's something wrong with this.
Right, yeah. There's alarm bells are going off.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, I didn't realize that I had been raised in a cult. I just thought I had been in a weird, wacky church, which is basically a cult. But I hadn't made the connection yet. But when I was like, they're singing praises to Teen Challenge, I'm like, we're in church. We should be singing praises to God.
Yes.
And it hit. I remember it. I'm sitting. I can remember being there when that was going on, and I was just like, I was just like going, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say anything about this to anybody. I kept it to myself.
Right.
But I just remember saying, this is not right. And that was fucking Teen Challenge, and they were from that, that place in North Merritt Island.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? It's just, and it just dawned on me, like when I started, after like getting in touch with Nora and all that stuff, I start doing my own research into TTI and everything. Teen Challenge comes up, and I go, whoa, hold on.
Hold on a second. You're like, I knew it.
I'm serious. I had to be the only kid there that even thought that it, even remotely thought that anything.
Well,
was
you were
wrong
probably
with
the only
that.
kid there that was in a cult.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't know it. Even though you didn't know it at the time.
Not
But
yet.
yeah, dude. So, I mean, dude, yeah, that set off alarm bells in your head. Mm-hmm. That's wow.
Yeah, it's just, Teen Challenge. Yeah, fuck Teen Challenge.
Fuck you. Anyway.
Anyway. Hashtag, but I digress, but not really because it was on topic. Anyway, Lakeland, Florida was a branch of Teen Challenge, the Lakeland Girls Academy. And it's now closed, but if it was still open, I'd go after them, but it closed in 2022, and I think I already said that.
Yeah, you did, but it's okay.
It's basically boot camp tactics on girls. Anna Lucia DeFree, she was forced there by her mom, and her and the entire they moved from somewhere. Her mom actually drove her there from somewhere else in the country. I think it was Ohio. I don't know, but the whole time she's just like, "You're gonna be safe from yourself here."
Safe from yourself. Oh my God.
Safe from yourself. And her roommate, once she got checked in and everything, her roommate, Naomi Wood, took her in. This girl, Naomi, was there for lots of other girls. I mean, she compartmentalized her own pain and put all the other girls there before her. She was a saint. She was beautiful. Just beautiful person. But she was spiraling because she wasn't able to, she was sitting there dealing with everybody else on top of the bullshit that she was going through. And it took its toll. Ultimately, she wound up having a deadly seizure and dying there. Just 5 miles from my house. I was in Lakeland at the time.
Yeah.
Knew nothing about it. Didn't even know there was a Teen Challenge facility there. If there had, I might have, I don't know, even before the podcast started, I might have, I don't know, I might have done something. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if I had known. But Paris Hilton, in one of her many speeches, she brought up Naomi specifically. And, you know, the seizure, it would have been prevented if proper care had been given. She had been complaining about being sick to her stomach, and she threw up repeatedly. Even after going to bed, you know, her roommates basically, you know, she was on the top bunk. Her roommates moved the mattress down to the floor so that she could get to the bathroom faster. She even told somebody that she was afraid to sleep, and she was having a hard time breathing. She asked her roommates to pray with her. She thought that she was having a panic attack. Her roommates called the staff, and the staff did nothing, and she, you know, was all of a sudden fell unconscious. They called the police, and she died in the hospital. But she had been complaining for a month about stomach pain. You know, like every single day, like all the time. It was like, my stomach is killing me. Mm-hmm. And she was given Pepto-Bismol.
Oh.
That's it. Pepto. Here, have some Pepto.
Yeah. Drink the pink stuff. It's good for you.
Drink the pink stuff. It's good for you. It turns your shit black. But the autopsy came back, and it was basically seizures due to neglect.
Yeah. And did anything happen?
We'll get there.
Okay.
8 p.m. that night, the family got the call, and Naomi had been adopted from Liberia, which was a war-torn country and everything. You know, she had gotten adopted as a baby, basically funneled out of Liberia. Mm-hmm. Comes to America, is just killed by, Teen Challenge.
Yeah. God.
Teen Challenge is the largest TTI program that there is. It's very well connected, and it was even endorsed by George W. Bush. At the Lakeland Girls Academy, anytime a girl complained about illness or pain and everything, they were faking it. But after Naomi died, the girls revolted.
Right on.
Because they tried to do the "don't talk about it" thing, like they did with with Danielle, the Catch Me Outside girl. Mm-hmm. They tried to, but no, it didn't work here. I mean, the girls revolted. The story went viral, but no criminal charges were filed.
Well, of course not, because the government. Yeah. Never mind, I didn't say that.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Rock star judge Rosemary Acolina, she joined the fight.
Oh yeah.
She was the one who sentenced the pedo Olympics doctor Larry Nassar. Okay. Yeah, she sent his ass to prison.
Good.
And by the way, shout out to Time Suck. Dan Cummins did a great episode about Larry Nassar recently, and he really goes into detail about the fireworks that happened. I love when I called Judge Aquilina a rock star. Mm-hmm. I meant it.
Right on.
This woman roasted Larry Nassar.
Cool.
She said everything that you wanted to hear a judge say to a fucking piece of shit. But yeah. It rarely happens like that, though.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving the shout out to Time Suck.
All right.
Even though we did our April Fool's Day story a year before they did theirs.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
No, I'm not.
Fuck. Anyway.
Judge Aquilina met with Naomi's brother Nehemiah, as well as other Lakeland Girls Academy survivors. Survivor Selah, she declared war. She wasn't there when Naomi was there, but obviously when that happened, it struck a chord with her. And she actually blames herself.
Okay.
It's like we didn't do anything. It's our fault. And then Rosemary, Judge Aquilina, she's like, it's not your fault. It's their fault. And she encouraged her to fight. So,
No, yeah.
Hail Selah. and hail Judge Aquilina too.
Right on. Oh yeah.
May 2022. The Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act was on the floor in the Senate or in Congress, and Nehemiah and his family participated and supported this, and they demonstrated in Washington, D.C. in front of the White House and in front of the Capitol building. And they spoke, and Paris Hilton was there, and she spoke too. That's where she brought up Naomi's name. Demonstrations started happening all over the country. Jen, remember her from the beginning? Mm-hmm. She and Paris Hilton put together a thing in Utah, where Jen basically started the hashtag Breaking Code Silence hashtag.
All right. Please allow myself to introduce myself.
Yeah. But, with the word getting out and everything, Jen actually got worried because the kids that are in that in one of these places now, they know that the people are against TTI and they're rebelling, and the camps, and because of that, the camps could actually become even more dangerous for them than they were before. Because the kids are basically, they're like aware. They're like, you're not going to do this to me, and yes, they can. Yes, they absolutely can, and it fucking sucks, but it's the truth.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, man.
But nothing's changed in the laws for the most part.
Oh, well, they're making too much money from it. Of course they're not going to change it.
Mm-hmm. Hannah Archuleta, she filed a lawsuit in 2022 against Turnabout Ranch in Utah. She was sexually assaulted there. She was also a Dr. Phil victim. She was sent there after going on the Dr. Phil show. And she reported the assault, but nothing was done, and she was punished for it. She got double workloads picking up fucking horse manure and everything and walking in circles like Carl Penn's ram was done. Remember that?
Yeah.
He had to walk in circles for like 13 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened to her too. The employee that did it wasn't fired. And she was not allowed to call her parents initially, but finally she was. She had earned the right to call her parents. And she actually told them what happened. Her parents came in and they got her out. Realized they had fucked up.
All right. Well, that's... At least that happened.
Yeah.
Because, every other story, every other thing, the parents are just like, oh, you're lying.
Yeah.
The parents believe the bullshit,
But she had filed a lawsuit against Turnabout Ranch and everything. She had also sued Dr. Phil, but that case was dismissed. But her appeal, her appeal on that was resolved, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's just what it said. Her appeal was resolved.
They settled out of court.
Yeah, probably. Her lawsuit against Turnabout was also resolved.
Yeah, they paid her off.
Yeah.
Basically.
Dr. Phil capitalizes on these camps, and he makes kickbacks, kickback money. And even after deaths and abuse at these camps and everything, he won't stop. He's preying on and profiting from parents that are at their wits' end with their teenager. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that there wasn't anything going on with these kids that drove the parents to that point. I'm not saying that at all. Just saying, work. Go to counseling. Work it out yourself.
Yeah. Be a parent.
Don't. Yeah.
That's what parents are supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Don't just let somebody else take care of it. I hate that shit. Anyway.
Yeah. Turnabout Ranch is owned by Aspen. It's a large corporation that owns multiple TTI facilities, and Aspen is cheerleaded by Dr. Phil. There's some out there that even actually in their brochure they list sexually provocative acts as treatment. Elizabeth Anderman went to, get this, Mount Bachelor.
Okay.
Not the best name for a treatment facility.
No. Wonder what went on there.
I'll tell you. Just such an ominous name. I mean, maybe it was actually on a mountain that was named Mount Bachelor, but you really need to change the name.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But she was sent there at 13 years old, and she admits it. She's like, yeah, I was fucked in the head. I needed help. But Mount Bachelor didn't do anything to help her. They just caused more damage. They had secret programs to work on slutty behavior. Basically, every girl that walked into that place, she was a slut, whether they were a virgin or not.
Oh, yeah.
Rape victims actually had to replay their rape in front of an audience. Supposed sluts were made to wear French maid outfits and give lap dances to boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And program with propaganda, I mean, it's just, they were programmed with like propaganda and everything to say to anybody that might come in and inspect us. But guess who was the main funding of this particular camp as well as others?
I don't know.
Bain Capital.
Okay.
You know who runs that?
No.
Mitt Romney. Yeah. Former presidential candidate,
Yeah.
current governor of Utah. Or no, he's not the governor. He's a senator. I think. I don't know. He might be governor. I don't give a shit. He's a piece of shit.
Dude,
anyway.
I want off this planet, man. This shit's...
Co-chairs of finance with of Bain Capital are Melvin Sembler that we talked about earlier, and Robert Litchfield. Litchfield ran the WASP program, which was a TTI program that was featured in the documentary The Program that came out earlier this year. Litchfield started at Provo and then branched out on his own. WASP came up with the level system. You know, it was a hierarchy system that put kids in charge of other kids. Torture techniques is like water deprivation. All of this, and all of this conditioning to make you believe that it's actually fucking helping you.
I talk.
We're getting close to the end. Litchfield was sued for abuse, and it was unsuccessful. But WASP actually folded ultimately, and this isn't Blackie Lawless. I think Blackie Lawless would really frown on them using his name.
Yeah, I believe so.
Blackie Lawless is a good dude.
Yeah.
Like heavy metal meatloaf.
Yeah, right. I mean, dude, yeah, you know, in the age of glam, he was like one of the ugliest dudes.
He's got an awesome voice, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we saw him in concert a couple
Yeah.
years ago. Or, no, about a year and a half ago. I don't know. But
I mean, we saw him lip sync, but I didn't say that.
whatever.
No, it was still a good show. Don't get me wrong. It was still a good show.
It was.
I don't, the whole backing track thing, dude, I don't care about it. You do what you do to put on the best show you can, dude, and it's fine.
Exactly. But you know what? He admitted, he's just like, yeah, I have backing tracks going on, but I'm singing over them.
That's I mean, I think at that show that we saw, I think he was singing sometimes, but sometimes he weren't. You know, it is what it is, and it don't matter.
Like an animal when we were outside.
Yeah.
You know, they had the door open, we could hear it. It sounded just like like identical to the CD.
Yeah.
You know, to the.
But you know, it is what it is.
Still.
Like I said, I mean, dude, he's fucking 70-something years old, dude. You got to do something to put on. You know, you're gonna put on a show like that.
At least. Yeah, but when he did sing, he still sounded really good.
Yeah. Dude, I got no problem with it.
Unlike Vince Neil.
Let's not even go there. Let's just stop, move on. Let's finish this up. I got shit to do. Since I slept all day and did nothing, I need to fucking do something tonight.
Well, I just threw that in as a palate cleanser for you.
Okay.
Because you're getting a little rough there.
Yeah, dude, this is killing me, dude. Anyway, moving on.
Herman Mountain of Bethel now works with adults getting out of prison. At least he's not working with kids, and adults, if you tried any of that bullshit with them, an adult would probably kick his ass.
You would hope so, anyway.
So Dave and Alan from, the survivors we were talking about from Bethel, they went to confront Herman at the church that he was working out of, and he refused. They called him. They were sitting out there. This is in the documentary. They're sitting out there and everything. They called him. Like, yeah, we're, a couple Bethel boys. We want to talk to you. They hung up on him.
They hung up on him? Yeah, of course he did.
Yep. Cowards.
Chicken shit.
So they had some signs made up. It's like, why did you abuse me? I deserve better and stuff like that. And they held them up and everything. I know he saw him.
Oh, yeah.
I know he saw him. But, it's like, but the thing is, all of these people, whether it's TTI, whether it's cult, whatever, they refuse to talk to the people that they've harmed. And I know that from fucking experience.
Well, yeah.
Because I tried to get in touch, after we did episodes 10 and 11. Mm-hmm. I tried to get in touch with one of the cult leaders and everything. Crickets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you won't talk to me. Steve Hill. Anyway. Yeah, because the cult leader's dead. He was the heir apparent.
Yeah. So,
it falls on him.
Yep.
It falls on him.
Exactly.
To bear responsibility.
Indeed it does.
Yeah. I don't want to fucking, I don't want an apology from him. I don't.
Yeah.
I just want an acknowledgement. I just want an acknowledgement. I just want him to say, yeah, I was fucked up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't want. Yeah. Anyway. Still. CTI survivors, they're not going away. They're getting louder and louder. They're supporting law changes and everything. They're demonstrating. Missouri, at the time, had zero regulations and on these things, and the survivors got time in front of the state senate, and the Senate listened.
Okay.
July 24th, 2023, Missouri Governor Mike Parson signed House Bill 557, ratifying the Residential Care Notification Act into law, basically requiring background checks, checkups, and investigation into these programs regularly.
All right.
But you know what? Don't just pack up and move to Utah.
Yeah, no shit. We need well, dude. Utah's not going to do nothing because we know who runs Utah, but that's all right.
Yeah. 2 months after the bill was passed, assault charges were filed against Agape Ranch. 65 counts against 22 defendants, 5 with multiple counts.
All right.
They were charged, and Agape was shut down in 2023, but complaints continued to roll in. Complaints about abuse. And you know what? The people that run it, like I said, they probably just went to Utah and started a new one.
Yeah.
But the survivors want these leaders held accountable. And that's the only way that it's going to happen. You know, survivors, people that care, you know, the survivors are uniting. This is crazy. Yeah, they're not going to go away. I mean,
They shouldn't because this shit needs to be fucking put down.
Yeah, I mean, my there's a Facebook group that I'm part of. It's a private Facebook group for the survivors of the cult that I was raised in, and there's like 600 of us there, and it's not going away. It's not going away.
Right. It shouldn't.
So we're fighting on their. I'm fighting on my front. I'm also an ally on their front.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jen, she's married with a daughter. That daughter, she's has the most perfect life and everything, and that's how it should be. But she's organized meetups and everything with survivors for support, love, and caring. And she's an advocate for every single TTI survivor, especially for the kids who are currently in these camps. And hopefully something comes of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's got to end. But the thing is, this fight, me going after the cult that I was raised in, is a lot different than this because of the fact that there's so much fucking money behind this. Mm-hmm. It's different. This probably isn't going to go away.
Yeah.
All you can do is keep fighting.
Yep.
And you know what? That's what I'm going to do.
Exactly. Got to do it.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
And we're done.
All right.
So thoughts? Closing thoughts?
I hate people. I just the fact that I don't know that parents do this to their children, that they let this happen, just infuriates me.
Yeah, it does, but at the same time, they're reaching out for help. They find people that think that they're gonna help. They fill their head with all bullshit. These people are master. Yeah, I get that, but still, it's just like now, today.
Yeah,
there's no excuse.
How does it still happen today when all this shit is out there and people are still sending their kids to this shit, dude? There's just no fucking excuse for that.
Mm-mm.
Dude, it's fucking.
Well,
I don't even know what to say. It bugs the fuck. I know I said it's fucking organized, regulated, or not regulated, but it is organized child abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's horrible. I mean, I freaking,
And I just, yeah. Anyway, whatever. That's all I got. I'm broken again.
Yeah, you did fine, bro.
Well, I held it together better this time, but yeah, I just.
But I
feel for the
I don't know.
kids, and I just hope something gets done about it. I really do. But anyway, all right, that's what I got.
Next time I'm able to come over there, over your side of the state, we gotta, if that troubled teen, if that teen challenge place is still there, we gotta pay them a visit. You be up for that?
I don't know. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's go. I'll take the charge. That's fine.
Leave your guns at home.
Oh, come on. Can I bring lots of gasoline and a lighter?
No, leave that at home too.
That's
No,
right. That's right. Because
there.
there's still kids in there. I can't burn the place down when there's kids in there.
Right. We'll just go in there and we'll just have a little chit chat.
Ugh.
Both of us will have our phones out recording.
Oh God, we're gonna be those people.
Sure, why not?
Those annoying fucks on YouTube that like walk into places with their God.
For a troubled teen industry camp? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I guess that is a little different, I suppose. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm still gonna catch a charge though, but it'll be all right.
Huh?
I said I'll still catch a charge though, but it'll be all right.
Nah. We just want to talk to him. That's it.
No, that's not it.
But they'll throw us out.
Of course they will, dude. We won't even get in the door. What are you talking about?
We'll both walk in there with CKCB t-shirts on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they won't even let us in the door, bro.
But you know what? That's documentation.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, that's documentation. And if they don't talk to us, that just proves that, hey, there's something shady going on here.
Yes, it does.
Which we already knew, but
of course.
still.
Yeah, right. We know that, but anyway.
But
all right. Fuck.
anyway, thanks a lot for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Check us out on Facebook. All the links are there. God damn it. I suck at this. Paul was great at this.
All right.
Like, subscribe, review, and listen to, and check us out and everything.
Yep.
Comment on YouTube, comment on Apple, and you can now comment on Spotify. So comment there.
Yes, comment.
5-star reviews and all that stuff. One of these days I'll put together a script for that. But I should have to like have it and just fucking read it
Right.
at the end of every episode. But anyway.
Anyway.
Until next time. Later.
Cheers, everybody.